2,191 days. That's how many days have led up to this moment. And if you want to translate that number into years, it's 6 years, but 2,000 days sounds a lot cooler than 6 years. But with that said, welcome to the official launch of MVP by MJK. Now, before we get into what MVP by MJK is, I want to walk through what we'll cover today. The first thing is, who am I? Second, how we got here. Third, what makes an MVP business. Fourth, the expectations framework. And fifth, what is the end goal of all of this? And also showing you a real example of how MVP actually works. But to start, there's a good chance that if you're watching this video, you have no idea who I am. And if that's you, hello, nice to meet you. And if that isn't you, nice to see you again. Who the hell is Mike Kyle II? Well, for 3 years between 2021 and 2024, I worked at a marketing agency, specifically on the content side of the business. I was running our social media, our podcast, our YouTube channel. And through doing all of that, I was then tasked with teaching hundreds of service-based entrepreneurs how to use social media for their business. And that went so well that I was able to be a speaker at the International Builder Show in 2024, where I taught another 100 people in the room how to use social media for their business. And throughout the course of those 3 years, I saw why some marketing works and why some doesn't, which now brings me to present day, where from mid-2024 till now, April 28th, 2026, I run MJK2 Enterprises, now MVP by MJK, a holistic business development company. And everything you're about to watch in this webinar is how I have grown my own business, my clients' businesses, as well as the marketing agency. And I'm not going to hide the results all the way to the very end of the webinar. I'm going to show you them up front to get you even more bought into what you're watching right now. Note, these results are not your results may vary, but we have a 23% revenue increase, a 25% close rate increase, a 90% increase in reviews, and a 317% awareness increase. So yeah, this works. But let's rewind. How we got here. One of the things that was often said at the marketing agency was marketing a bad company is like putting lipstick on a pig, where at the end of the day, it's still a pig. Now what this means is you can take a company, market the hell out of it, make it look the best it can possibly be, but when somebody actually gets inside the business and works with them, they're going to find out that it's not that great of a business. And I have a story that goes along with this. 1 month while working at the agency, we got a client the most amount of leads they've ever received in a month. We were pumped around the office. We just ran an ad campaign that crushed. We were like, let's get on the phone with him. Let's see how he's doing. So we give him a call and he says, I haven't closed anything. And so he is down in the dumps. He's pretty bummed out. And here we are in the office celebrating. And that's when I went, oh my gosh, like we just spent all this time and energy into creating this awesome campaign. Leads were coming in and nothing good resulted from it on the business end. So we say to him, well, let's go ahead and let's take a look at the sales calls. Let's go through and figure out who the people were that were coming in. Were they qualified? Were they not? And let's just really take a look at what was going on once they became a lead. So we dive into his account and start reading text messages as well as listening to recorded sales calls. And what we found was very simple. Marketing and sales were not aligned. Marketing was putting out one image and sales was putting out something totally different. Meaning there was an automatic disconnect when the time somebody became a lead to when we were actually reaching out to them. It was a totally different experience for the lead. And when I was talking to his account manager, I started laughing. I said, this makes sense. This sales call sounds awful. A few months later, I leave the marketing company and I start reflecting on my time there. And there were 3 main issues that kept coming up. The first one is business owners don't have a unified system across marketing, sales, and operations. Let's take that example that I just shared with you. Marketing was putting out one image and sales was putting out something totally different, leaving a disconnect there. The second problem that I kept seeing is business owners use multiple vendors with their own strategies, philosophies, and tactics. Meaning more often than not, the more vendors you have, the more philosophies that you have running in the same business at a time. And lastly, the third problem that I identified is business owners forget about old customers because they're too focused on the new ones. And this is the byproduct sometimes of running a business. You're just so focused on all of these different things that you forget about the people that already know, like, and trust you. So if those were the problems, these were my solutions. Create a unified system across all aspects of the business: marketing, sales, and operations, where every phase stacks on top of the previous to create a compounding effect, so that every customer turns into two via repeat purchases, referrals, and reviews. And all of this has led me to today. What makes an MVP business? M is for messaging. Messaging sets the initial expectation of what it's like to be a customer of ours. It answers the question, what and how are we communicating to potential prospects and our target audience about the kind of business that we are? And the main outcome of messaging is to prepare your target market to be a customer of yours. V, value. Value confirms or exceeds the initial expectation set by marketing to convert prospects into customers. It answers the question, how are we demonstrating our value and edge over our competitors? Why should they choose us? And the main outcome for value is to make sales easier by leaning on previous customer experiences in the sales process. P is for performance. Performance means it's game time. We closed the deal and now it's time to fulfill and excel on our customers' expectations of working with us. It answers the question, how are we giving our clients the best experience and service they can possibly get? The main outcome of performance is to wow your customer with your client experience and service delivery. And lastly, exclamation point is for excitement. Excitement comes from at every step of the way our customers' experiences were met or exceeded. It answers the question, how are we capitalizing on post-service excitement in order to drive repeat business, referrals, and reviews? The main outcome here is more of those three things: more reviews, more referrals, more repeat customers, and ultimately more money. My North Star for all of this is if every customer did 2 out of 3 actions, your business would double. If they bought again, if they referred somebody, or if they left a review that we then use to close somebody who's on the fence. However, your customer will only do this if, throughout the entire process, their expectations were either met or exceeded. And I call this the expectations framework. So messaging sets the initial expectation, value confirms or exceeds the messaging expectations, performance validates the expectations of messaging and value, and excitement is our reward for following the expectations that we set. Here's an example of this in action. In messaging, somebody saw a before and after video of us on social media and they decided to reach out and become a lead. That then moves them to the value stage where during the sales process we showed them a case study of a client that we previously helped that was in the exact same position that this prospect is in. However, in performance though, we dropped the ball on communication and we only perform an average service delivery, which means that the chain broke and we lost the opportunity for reviews, for referrals, and for repeat sales. The excitement was gone. Our desired outcome for every single customer that we work with should look at something like this. They saw the before and after video on social media, so they became a lead. During the sales process, we showed them a case study of somebody that was in a very similar situation and how we were able to help solve their problem. In the performance, we over-communicated and provided fantastic service delivery, and as a result, the excitement, we got a review, 2 referrals, and they ended up buying again. This is how we are able to build a business with sustainable and predictable growth. And the end goal looks a little something like this. Samantha comes in as a marketing lead. She has a fantastic experience and loved working with us, so she referred Evan, and Allie saw her review and became a lead that way. From there, Evan bought again and referred Ryan, and Allie bought again and referred Anna. I call these webs, and we want to create as many webs as possible. And if you're thinking, boy, that looks like a pyramid scheme, it's a legal one. Here is a real example from a client. Dan came in as a marketing lead. Dan loved working with my client so much that he referred Shannon. Shannon loved working with my client so much she referred Tim, Barbara and Jerry saw Shannon's review. From there, Tim bought again, Barbara bought again, and Jerry bought again, bringing the total number of sales from this one web to $367,000 in sales, turning one project into 8. This is how we become an MVP business. If you made it this far, thank you. Now with your permission, I want you to be an MVP. MVP is a blended approach of done-for-you activities as well as done-with-you activities. Done-for-you activities include a personalized content strategy, monthly review graphics for social media, brand evaluations, quarterly case studies, automated review acquisition systems, automated referral systems, automated repeat sales systems, and personalized testimonial questions. With-you activities include offer enhancement, ad campaign development, VSL script creation, VSL implementation, case study implementation, client experience elevation, referral program creation, and review incentive program creation. But it gets even better, because here are all the bonuses that come along with being an MVP. A monthly MVP focused group coaching call, a private Slack channel for MVP members, monthly scorecard and web reporting, 3 monthly Q&A tickets, the new brand equation training, assignment selling training, set excitement expectations training, and our testimonial framework. So to put that all together, I am helping you implement the MVP system across your business, doing work for you, with you, and you're gonna get a whole slew of bonuses to make it even easier for you. Normally, MVP is $1,200 a month with a $1,500 setup fee. However, I'm going to waive that $1,500 setup fee if you sign up today. But actually, I'm going to waive the $1,200 a month fee too, because your first month is going to be completely free just to show you that this works. Specifically, your first month to show you that this works is going to include an MVP audit, 5 review social media graphics or testimonial clips if you have those, 2 case studies for your top services and customer needs, a call where I will personally walk through with you how you're going to leverage these case studies in your sales process, immediate client experience process shifts that we're going to identify in your MVP audit, as well as setting up the automated review acquisition system. And remember that web that I showed you earlier, this one with $367,000 in sales? Well, that would turn out to be a 25-to-1 annual ROI. Again, note, these results are not your results may vary, but still 25-to-1 looks pretty damn good to me. So I need to ask, are you ready to be your industry's MVP? If you are, you can scan this QR code or visit the link down in the description to get started today. And if you're still kind of on the fence, you can connect with me at MVP by MJK on all social media platforms. And you can also check out more of the MVP model by visiting mvpbymjk.com or mjkii.com. Thank you so much for taking the time to dive into the MVP model with me. I look forward to hearing from you soon.